I'm 75. Okay. I was born in 1931 on Long Island in Farmingdale, where I went to school at the parochial school, St. Killian's. And then when I graduated, I went on to Farmingdale High School. And in those days, in the early days from 1931 on down, it was really rough because it was in the Depression, really. And really, we didn't have much. My father was a milkman. He worked very hard. And he was a good guy. And my mother was great. And we had a good life. I had two brothers. I was the youngest of them. And they both went into the service in Second World War. And I went into the Korean War. But from the years 31 on, we just fantasized a lot of things because there was no television then, and everything was radio. And being a Yankee fan, we were just like always going crazy about the Yankees and the New York Giants, and then the Yankee football team. But it was great years, and like I said, we didn't have many things, but what we had, we really enjoyed big time because they were things that we made up. We played all our football in lots with weeds growing all over the place and everything else. There was no fields for us then to play on, except at the school. And it was, like I say, it was really fun. We played like it was for real all the time. And I think that today the kids have it pretty easy here with what they have. They got all the fields. They don't realize, actually, because, of course, they shouldn't, how their parents or their grandparents went through all these things without really much, and they would think that, how did they ever do that, I mean, how could they do that without all these conveniences that we have today? But it was good. It was really good. Oh, yeah, I could have done that. My first basketball was a football.
You should mention that.
The parents, actually, like when we were parents, we gave our kids everything that we didn't really have. We tried to give them things that we didn't have. That wasn't a lot of big deal kind of things, but it was things that we thought they should have, in sports, and good shoes, and they were good athletes. So we tried to give them all the good stuff to make them happy with what they had. But when we were kids, I didn't have anything like that. I made my own basket across the street under a light, and my first basketball was a stuffed football where I took out the lining and I stuffed it with leaves. And that's how I learned to be a jump shooter, because with a football, you have to hit the tips and put them up, and that's how I played. I played all the time, and it made me a ball player later on in years when I got in high school, because I learned to jump over people and do things like that. But that's what you had to do in those days, and you never thought anything more about it, really. You didn't think, oh, gee, I don't have this, I don't have that. My bicycle had no fenders on it even. It was just an old bike, but it was fun. I used to put my little dachshund in a basket and take him to the store when I had to go down to the store. But that was great days, we thought, and today, of course, it's different, naturally. We're through the age of, of everything, but the kids today don't think that, I think, because they don't realize what their parents or grandparents went through way back. And they shouldn't, actually, I think, because it's just a different type life today.
And before you said that you tried to give your kids more than what you had. When is too much? Like right now, like the parents are trying to give more than what they were given. What is it going to happen? Are people going to be born and be given a mansion at birth? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does
How far do you go,
yeah,
right?
exactly. I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter of, that wasn't a lot of great things that the kids got, really. I mean, like Adidas shoes, maybe, instead of just plain sneakers to wear playing basketball, because a lot of kids, some of the kids they played with were more well off, actually. I was a police officer and I wasn't making anything. I was making $3,950 a year, and that didn't go much. I mean, just for paying the house payment and buying stuff. And so we used the credit cards, actually, all through the years to buy a lot of stuff. And then I would take the loan from my pension and pay back the credit cards. And the kids The kids never realized it, and they shouldn't have. They were just happy doing the things they were doing. We had 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls, and all of them loved to play sports. So that was great for us. Yeah, I was a police officer in Nassau County Police Department in New York, outside of New York City. At the time we left New York in 1977, we were servicing close to 3 million people in Nassau County. Now you figure a county, how much could there be? Well, there was lots of crime there. But it wasn't the type of crime that we have today, which is drugs and, drugs-related crimes today. And the normal crime of stealing and assault and all, we had all that there too. But apparently it doesn't appear to be as much then as it is now.
Okay. So you have a lot of grandkids. Do you feel that they show respect to you and to other people that are older, and why or why not? And don't just pretend I'm not here.
There's no question about it that they show respect for everybody. They were brought up that way. My children, and then my kids, which is let's see, we had 6, so we got 18 grandchildren, and every one of them has been a good kid and has done wonderful in school and in athletics. They all were excellent. And when we moved from New York, it wasn't easy to move down to Pocomoke City for the kids, I'm sure. Not easy for any of us, but we moved down when I retired because the taxes in New York was way too much, and things were better in the local communities down here. And the kids went to Pocomoke High School, and they starred in everything that they went into, basketball, baseball, and all. And now their kids are starring in everything, field hockey especially, of course. And my granddaughters are just fantastic athletes. They are just so good.
About when you turn on the TV and stuff, I personally don't think there's a lot of like senior citizens portrayed on TV. What do you feel like about that? And when you do watch TV, do you like the shows that are on? Do you feel they appeal to younger people only? Do you feel like any of them appeal to older people, or do you feel like you're kind of in a society where you're not really you know what I mean, portrayed your age group?
Yeah. Well, the seniors, I don't believe they enjoy watching the kind of programs that are being portrayed on TV today, all the violence and everything else. There was enough violence, like even for myself, for me, and I just don't enjoy watching any of that stuff on TV. Sports, yes, everything in sports, I enjoy that a lot. Watching golf and football and Notre Dame and things like that, that's great. But as far as the seniors are concerned, I can't speak for all of them, but I'm sure they're all tired of looking at stuff like that. They really don't want to turn their TV on and see violence all over the place again. And all these shows are portrayed for violence and sex, and it's a bad thing, really, for the young people to look at. They don't realize it, I'm sure. They want to see something that's really exciting, and they think that is exciting. But it's overdone, completely overdone.
Mm-hmm. So do you have trouble finding, like magazines, movies, and TV shows that appeal to you personally?
Not really. I like to watch, certain things on TV, like the History Channel and sports, and occasionally a good movie. Basically, some of the old-time movies I like to watch. They're good. They're a lot of fun watching them.
It's just the newer stuff, like the sitcoms and stuff. When you see someone that's over 60 portrayed, and basically they're a joke, how does that make you feel like when you watch that?
Yeah, well, that's not good. You can't. You should never attack any portion of society, whether they're over 60 or whatever. But that's done for a reason, also by the media for some reason. The liberal media, I might say, and that's not a good thing. But that's life. And that's what they do today. There's really no stopping that, you know.
Like young people need to get insight into what it's like to grow older, and they need to understand that it can happen to them. They're not gonna be young forever. I mean, do you want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, well, you don't realize it, actually. You go through life and things when you're young, especially, you're never thinking about it. Well, you look at it as the people who are old, well, you know, who are seniors, and you just go like you look at your grandmother and your grandfather, and then your mother and your father go through the same thing, and then before you know, now I'm like my mother and father, which, you know, I hardly could ever believe. You know, I jumped, it seems, as soon as I hit 50, I jumped from 50 to 75, just like that, you know. That's how fast it goes. It's incredible. People will never realize that, how that is. I mean, young people can't realize that. And I never realized it, but now I do realize it big time, you know, especially when you're not hitting that golf ball as far as you used to hit it. Yeah, well, with what's happening with sports today, it's like a show now. They're getting paid big time money like the stage people get, the actors in Hollywood, the actors in Vegas and everything. Now the sports people are getting paid that kind of money now, and they don't. They really don't seem to have the drive, you know, because there is so much money being paid out, to have to do well. And with the changes where they can say, well, if I don't have to play here, I'll play at another team. They'll pay me even more money. So that's an attitude that years ago the professionals didn't have in sports. They didn't have any attitude like that. They played more for the game than they did actually for the big money, because there wasn't any big money at the time. But sports has always been a part of my life. And on the police department, I got transferred into the youth division, and I was assigned to the PAL out in the street with kids, handling them and teaching them things and trying to do good things for them. And we had all kinds of athletics then, and we brought it right along for the young kids, and they loved that. And then when I moved to Maryland, when I retired, I was 46 years old when I retired. I had 21 and a half years on, and came down here and opened up a sporting goods store in Pocomoke City, and that was great. I enjoyed it. And then we opened another one and another one, but then my son-in-law came from Long Island, and I opened one in Parksley, Virginia, and that's where he still is. He still got that store, and he's done really good with it. So sports leads you into a lot of things that you can enjoy, you know, and it was great because when I had the store, I could get to all my kids' games. I would just hire some ladies, and they'd come in and take care of the store, and my wife and I would be off to every game there was, and we're still doing it with our grandkids now.
So like now you really can't go out and play sports like you used to, like you said. I mean, you can do golf a little bit here and there, but explain how you kind of maybe you play through your grandkids. You watch them, and that's like, it's almost like playing, right?
Oh yeah, I enjoy it more now watching the kids. I enjoy watching my grandkids as much, if not more, than my regular kids, my children. I really get a big kick out of them. I mean, the last few games I saw, they were so great. They were the best games, and watching a field hockey game, Pocomoke is one of the best teams in the state always, every year. And there was so many great ways, of watching people play. And the competition is so unbelievable with these kids. Washington and Pocomoke, it's like do or die right to the very end. 5 seconds left, and Pocomoke scores, wins this title, and goes to the States. Oh, people go mad over it, It's been unbelievable. Great. And the kids are so tough, and I'm so proud that my grandkids are so really hard, and they play so great. They all do. Every one of them that I've watched. Even the little ones.
Okay, so I think I have one more question. Well, no, I have two actually. How long have you been married, and why do you think that your marriage has lasted so long as opposed to current marriages that don't always last so long?
Well, we'll be married 49 years this coming January, and then we'll have the big one, the 50. But we've been married all those years, and it's been just that we loved each other right from the beginning, and we still do the same thing, and we're really loose. We have a lot, and if we have anything to say, we say it. And if it hurts the feelings sometimes, but we get over it because it's not harped on. It's said, it's done, and then kiss and make up, and it's good. You just have to understand and try to understand each other. It's not easy. It's never easy for anybody, for me or my wife. But you get it. I mean, as you get older too, you fall more into acceptance of this, and so it's good.
So why do you think that today's marriages are not always as successful? Is there anything that you think's going on with that?
Yeah, the kids they want too much too fast, and if they don't get it, a lot of them just say, "Well, I'm not going to go along with this. If I can't have this or if I can't have that, then I'll find somebody else that'll give it to me." And that's not the way God has put us on this earth to do. No way. I mean, you have to fight it out. And when you fight it out, you stay together long and you appreciate each other. But, I think that's the problem today. The kids expect too much. The young people, they get married generally very early, in their very early 20s and sometimes 18, 19. And they don't understand yet. So that's the big thing, just staying together and working it out, and it works out fine.
And things like that.
No, I think the generation is good. It's just that the kids, like I say, it's more difficult for them because there's so much more things happening. Ever since the atomic age, things have started, and that was one of the things you asked me before, which I forgot about. And but since then, that atomic age, everything started to revolve, and the kids got less. You know what I mean? Their parents started to work, and now there was only no parents at home. Because it just more money was needed, inflation, and those things were tough. But that's the hard thing because money is tough, and I know parents have to work, but that's a tough thing for kids to come home and have not a mother or a father there to help them when they need help. And that's what we didn't have. We always had a mother home when we came home. Different, just different.
Okay.
Look better.
You can just do it over here actually because my camera bag's in the background.
Okay.
That's not professional.
Yes.
This way you can get the ninth hole.
Oh, gosh. The ninth hole.
Okay, and then can you just talk to each other like pretend I'm not here?
You did very well.
Did I really?
Answer the questions.
It's a wonder. How seniors are.
You didn't say more than you had to.
No, I
Only
would have
used
liked
your
to.
hands
But
a little bit.
I would have liked to, but I saw you sitting over there staring at me. So
Going,
yes,
cut.
yes, I know. You were like, don't start in.